So what did Matt Eberflus do in terms of the operation that he has defended and the entire thought process in a shocker to no one, he has defended? What did he do wrong, in your opinion, Pat?
Can we get Tanny to play his clip real quick from the press conference today?
Matt, going back to the blocked field goal, was there any thought of moving the ball to the right hash, considering that's where Cairo likes to kick his extra point?
Yeah, there was not. There was not. We feel good with our decision there.
So, all right, I'll follow that up.
Please.
He said there was no thought. Well, listen, that's coaching 101. That is coaching 101. That's egregious that there was no discussion about that. Was there discussion about that? I don't know. Well, we can get into that a little bit. Let me just start with this. That's coaching 101. You start there's a reason why you go to OTAs. There's a reason why you have mini camps. There's a reason why you have training camp. There's a reason why you do situational football. There's a reason why on Thursday you finish the offensive periods every Thursday with a 2-minute drill, a different situation. Whether it's, all right, we got 34 seconds, we need a field goal, we got one timeout, let's run the 2-minute drill that way. So the offense knows and the defense knows. To it being a minute and 34 seconds, we got one timeout, we need a touchdown. You run through that each week. Each week is a different situation. So you've gone over these scenarios 2 to 3 to 4 times throughout the entire offseason and regular season. So when you're doing that, the special teams coach is standing next to the head coach and the OC, and he's should be asking, all right, what's our kick line today with this wind? Because at Haugh Hall, it can be windy, so it'll be a different kick line if you're going for the field goal. All right, what hash today would Cairo prefer? That is always discussed. I played 16 years in the NFL. Wow. Was been fortunate to be on a lot of game-winning kicks, game-missed kicks, game-block kicks, whatever. That is always discussed as soon as you get the ball back. The offensive coordinator should click over to the head coach and OC and say, listen, here's the kick line going north or south, wherever you're going, or in Soldier Field or Dome or whatever it is. If you have time, Cairo prefers it on the right hash. And listen, everybody knows he prefers it on the right hash. Where does he kick his PATs from?
Where's
he most comfortable?
Every one of them is from the right hash. Every one of them is from the right hash.
That's your job. That's your job as a coach to take care of that situation. To me, that is just I hear it and I don't understand it. You know, there's a lot of stuff I've talked about having the book on firing Matt Eberflus, and after this week and hearing what's going on and the miscommunication and or communication that happened or didn't happen, whatever it was, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
It's equally egregious, Patrick, too, because it's not like you had to rush. This wasn't a fire drill field goal where you don't have a timeout.
You had 35 seconds with a timeout.
You had your offensive personnel on the field just standing there.
Yes.
And that whole time that they were just standing there, I am shocked they never thought, at least according to Eberflus, they never thought about it, that Richard Hightower didn't say, hey, let's get Cairo over on the right hash. That could have been the next play that you ran. You could have just moved Caleb over that way.
That happens all the time.
There's a couple things there, though. So if you move Caleb, you've got to move from hash to hash. That's quite a ways. That moves the ball back, right? You could run a wide zone to the right and maybe get it over there, but you could get a few yards tackle, back. So I'm not defending them not running another play. I'm just really upset that they say this was not discussed. This, again, is coaching 101, and it should be taken care of during the offseason, during OTAs, training camp, every Thursday. And if he's being honest that it was not discussed, that's bad football. That's bad football coaching. And you know what's going to be bad? Is Richard Hightower tomorrow has to be at the podium and answer these questions.
Man, so Pat, for my own edification, if they threw a 10-yard out pattern and got some more yards to the right side, that would end up with the ball on the right hash. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. Yeah.
That's what I was advocating for.
But
since
hold on,
they were loading the middle.
It could get intercepted. Though.
Well, yeah.
No, but Lawrence, what's funny is, when we were doing the post game, I got so mad about the block kick and watching all the mistakes they made up front with protection that I was thinking about trying to run one more play. Now I think about it, I'm like, yes, you run one more play. And you know what's crazy about the NFL? It always shows its head, right? The same weekend, same situation. What do the Chargers do?
They run the ball and they get a touchdown.
So it always, when you make a bad decision, you're always shown in the NFL when you make a bad decision. That's the way it works.
This texter, Oscar from Aurora, says, I thought we turned the page. Now I'm back to being pissed off.
No, you should be. I'm glad that we turned the page back for a second.
We had to.
Because of Patrick's expertise.
100%.
And him being able to explain to folks like why this was an egregious mistake. And you know what bothers me, Patrick? I don't understand why Matt Eberflus struggles to go, I made a mistake, or we as a coaching staff made a mistake. And I get that one could argue that firing the offensive coordinator is them saying that, but at the podium, it would just be refreshing to go, I got that wrong. We know better. I should have known better. The next time we are in the situation, we're going to give Cairo Santos the opportunity to kick the ball from wherever he wants to kick it.
Or a simpler way to do it is not even saying that. It's just, hey, there are some situations that arise in a football game, and this is one. There are a lot of variables that could have happened in that situation. Listen, I'm saying this is on Monday morning. We talked about them as this coaching staff. We've got this figured out. It's unfortunately going to make the kick. If we make the kick, it's a different story, but we've talked about these situations, and this will not happen in the future.
So that gets to the broader point to me, because you've done a great job elucidating just how awful this is as yet another data point in the strategic failings. But we are 4 days removed, and there is no willingness or understanding to say, we messed this up, we'll get this better. It's like the third or fourth different thing just this season alone that he's not willing or understanding to say we messed this up. What I don't know what's worse, like not understanding how you messed it up, or the lack of willingness. I guess not understanding would be worse, but the lack of willingness is bad too, Patrick.
Well, yeah, but what this does, this takes me into their offices. This takes me into the coaching room. That if this happened, that they're not talking about this. And I've been 16 years through this, and this is like I said, special teams 101 in a 2-minute situation. This is discussed first, pretty much before the ball snapped, before Caleb takes that first snap coming out from their end zone. It's just, that's the way it should be done. And that says a lot to me of what's going on in this coaching staff. And it speaks, I sat with you in 2014, right?
Yep.
And I took me a while to open up about what I saw and was hearing what was coming from Haugh and Mark Trestman. And, now I've been removed 11 years, and I think I know special teams football. I know situational football pretty well. And if this is truly what's going on, that coaching staff is broken a little bit. They've got some stuff to fix, and that's some bad communication. And the other thing is, guys, during the offseason, players are gone, right? Coaches are in the building. Do you know what they do? They do situational football. They'll have meetings and go over situations. They break down different situations. How do we handle this? This is what we're going to do. This is what they do when we're not in the building, or we're down in the weight room or whatever, and we don't have a chance to go out in the field. This is what they do. And I just want to stress, this is special teams 101, and you can't get this right or say that there was no communication. I can't get it. I don't understand it.
To be this broken, like Patrick's talking about, in the middle of year 3, it is an unbelievable embarrassment.
It's an indictment.
Oh, and if
it's bad. It's just bad. It's really bad to me, guys. That's why I want to come on. I'm glad I got to come on today and do some studying up on this and figuring it out, because it says a lot about the coaching staff. And again, I just want to reiterate this. I feel bad for Coach Hightower having to stand at that podium tomorrow, because I might have blown this up a little bit more. I've had a lot of media people call me, and he's going to have to answer some questions, and we'll see what comes out, because we'll just see what comes out.
It feels like this organization, and I've said this before, just a couple weeks ago, they've decided that showing whatever instability they think it shows when you fire a coach mid-season is worse than the damage you can do by keeping a bad and broken coaching staff during the season. Yeah. And I think they're dead wrong on that, Patrick. I think it doesn't show the kind of organizational instability that they seem to be afraid of to get rid of the broken. You're doing damage by having these guys here any longer, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, if I continue to see that kind of stuff, I'm not saying that decision not putting on the right hash. I'm just talking about communication to open up the fans what should be going on. I think what happened in the Commanders game is worse, because he didn't come up there and gave up the 13 yards. The coaching or the player error of Tariq Stevenson, but. This screams to me like something's going on in that building that needs to be better communication. And I don't know why it's not there.
And what's wild is that there are all sorts of examples of it as the season has gone on.
Yes.
You have an offensive coordinator that didn't have a first 15, which almost every NFL player that we have talked to, past or present, was like, that seems weird. Every place else that I've gone, they've had some sort of thing like that. Or the fact that wasn't something that, like you're saying, Patrick, you guys didn't talk about this when you hired the guy?
Yeah. Well, then here, think about this. Who are the two most important hires he has made or should have made as the head coach for the Chicago Bears since he's been here? What position is the most important position in football?
Offensive.
You had a young Justin Fields, right? Yep. You had a young Justin Fields. You had to fire your offensive coordinator for him. You have a first-round pick, the number one pick in the draft, and you had to fire your hire for him after 9 games.
Pat,
that's all I got.
Pat, it's so sad because the human part of this is just really obvious to me on Eberflus. I think we've all known it and either talked right to it or talked around it. He's not secure in himself enough as a head coach to admit when he screws this stuff up. It's like
Lawrence. Yeah. And Lawrence, we talked about it at the post game when his post game press conference. I couldn't tell by his tone that they lost to the Packers.
Yeah. It's like, say it for what it is. He keeps talking about this stuff like, oh, no, I believe in it. We're getting there. We can do it. It's like if you're secure in yourself as a leader and as a head coach, then you have no problem calling something out when it doesn't work by the players or calling something out when it doesn't work by you guys. And we play Dan Campbell clips. We play Dan Quinn clips. We play Mike Tomlin clips. We could go grab Ozzie Guillen clips. We could cross sports. Sure. We played Eric Spoelstra last week, man. It's like when you screw something up, you say it. It's like, oh, yeah, and we'll fix that moving forward. You know, we learned. Okay, yeah, next question. Let's move on. It's just it takes a certain amount of base level security that this guy doesn't have, whether he's trying to prove that he's a head coach or prove that he's viable for this job or whatever the hell it is. It's personal insecurity, and it's really unfortunate and kind of sad to watch, frankly.
Well, let's just put it this way. What a coach would tell to me if I'm playing poorly. And Lawrence, remember when Olin said what Lovey would say to him?
Yep, need more from you, big guy.
Yep, so that's the same thing. I'm a 16-year alumni of the Chicago Bears. This is me ranting a little bit that I need more from this organization. I need more from Matt Eberflus. That's just what I want to see, and I'm not seeing it.
I think it's a fair way for you, considering all you've given to the organization, to offer that up. Patrick, this was outstanding, as per usual. Thank you so much for this, and thank you for letting your feelings be known about all of it.
No, you bet. Let's just see if we can get a damn win.
Thanks, Pat.
Bye, Patrick.
See ya.